Hi everybody, welcome to Monday night's Facebook, it's not Facebook, it's YouTube and Facebook. Welcome to Monday night's live demonstration. We are the 27th of March, so the last live in March, and I'm really excited to share with you today's coffee and card project that I'll be showing you shortly. So I am using a new technology, so bear with me. I'm a little bit of a technophobe, but life is getting a bit easier. So trying something new, and I'm hoping that it works this evening. So tonight I'm going to share with you the two cards that we made at Coffee and Card. And sorry about that. I'm going to share with you the two cards that we made at Coffee and Card using the Sweet Citrus bundle. It was lots and lots of fun. There was lots of ink, lots of different colours, lots of people getting messy, lots of people doing lots of extra stamping. It was really nice. And Coffee and Card is always my favourite way to start the week. So I will make a start. Feel free to craft along if you like, or just sit and watch. If you wanted to, add your comments. I've got them streaming on the right hand side, so I should hopefully keep up, and fingers crossed this will all work. So let's see where the evening takes us. Okay, yes, that worked. Don't you just love it when technology works? Right, okay, so let's make a little start. Take my cardie off. I feel all chuffed with myself that that worked. So these two cards are what we put together for Coffee and Card. They're using the Sweet Citrus stamps and dies that feature in the mini catalogue. The first card that I've used uses just some really nice yellow colour. It's what I would call flat stamping, so there's not a lot going on in this background. It's all very flat. And then in the second card we've done a little bit more stamping, and there's a lot more going on. So I'm saying so a lot, and I'm really annoyed with that. I wonder if anyone should keep count. Right, this is the stamp set, and it coordinates with a lovely set of dies that I'm just trying to find, because everything's been put away and I've come straight from a meeting, and we're going to be in trouble if I can't find the dies, aren't we? Which I probably should have got out already. Just bear with me. Talk amongst yourselves. Here they are. Okay. Right. So the stamp set is a photopolymer stamp set. Lots of nice images for you to choose from. It is a two-step style stamp set. Try saying that after a few gins. The idea being is that you stamp the outline first, then you stamp the inside, and you get a really, really lovely finished image. But the great thing about this stamp set is you have a lovely set of dies, and you have a hybrid embossing folder. All very technical sounding. The hybrid embossing folder basically will die cut and it will emboss all at the same time. So you'll notice on this card here, my lemon is really flat. It looks lovely, but we're going to add in a bit of pizzazz with this, and this one, and it's really hard to show you live, but basically it will emboss at the same time, and it gives you a really nice look to your cards. Now, the basis of these two cards all started with white cardstock, and I'm going to start at the same spot that I asked all my ladies to start with this morning. I'm going to start by cutting my card bases. So both of these cards are 10th fold, and I'm going to score this at 14.9 centimetres. Evening to you, Ilsa. Thanks for joining us tonight. And I'm going to cut at 10.5. Now what this does is this gives us two card bases out of one piece of card, and we just need one to start us off. And then for our first card we need another piece of lovely white. And the measurement for this, I'm just using a strip down the centre. The measurement for that is 8.5 centimetres wide by 14.9 centimetres. 14.9 and 14.9. Lovely. So we have a piece for inside and a piece for outside. We can put all of that to one side now. And this is where our stamping can start. Okay, let's pop these on their blocks. So we have the lovely infill image, and then we have the outline image. Okay. Now, because there are 4 images on this stamp and 3 on the infill, we're always going to start with the one that's got 4 on it, so we know we've got enough space. I'm just going to grab a new Daffodil Delight ink pad because mine has run out today. Let's see what I've got in my drawer. Maybe I don't have a new one. Maybe I'm going to have to re-ink. I am. Right, where's my ink pad? Here's my ink pad. Let's have a little practice. Now, earlier on when I used this, when this was being used in class, it pretty much run out of ink. That's not too bad, actually. We're going to stamp on white, so we do that. Evening, Rebecca. Right, so we're going to start, and I'm going to stamp my lemons just on this sheet here. And I'm going to turn it just ever so slightly, rotate it slightly so that it's not so uniform looking. That's our first one. Ink it up nicely again, turn it round the other way and stamp that about there. There we have it. So it just looks like a series of moons at the moment. This will help. So line it up, give it a nice stamp. That's it. And the same with this one. Turn it round, line it up, stamp. There we go. So we've got some lovely looking lemons stamped. And now we're going to go in with some leaves. I feel like my desk is messy already tonight. Ilse, can't wait for the new catalogue. No, me neither. It's all very exciting this time of year, isn't it? What do we hope to see in this shiny new catalogue? Now, just while you're all telling me about that, I'm going to do a little bit of more flat stamping by adding some leaves. There we go. Close my ink pad before I get covered in ink. Now this piece here we can attach straight onto our card front. Give it a nice little crease. And this is going in the centre, so we've got a nice border down each side. This is my glue that very nearly ran out last night when I was prepping. Pop that on. And actually I quite like it where the ink pad is running out. You get a really nice texture in your stamping. Okay. We're cooking the gas. Now you'll notice down at my card I've got a lovely black line. I'm really into my black lines at the moment. So I'm just taking a fine line pen. This is a really old Stampin' Up marker, but you could use one of the basic black Stampin' Right markers, or you could use just any old black fine liner. And I'm just following the edge of our stamped piece down. And what this does is it just lifts that background paper up off the card, which is always nice. And then for some added decoration, I'm just adding in some little dots so. Can't really see them, but I know they're there. Okay, now we've done that, we can put that to one side. And I need a piece of white now. Just a little scrap piece. What have I got here? A little scrap piece. This will do. And I'm going to cut myself a strip that is 2 centimetres. Is it 2 centimetres that I need? No, it's 2.5. I should have measured it first. What's the rule? Measure twice, cut once. Well, I'm not very good at that, am I? Okay. So now we are going, this is my little strip underneath. You can just see it in there. But rather than using some cardstock, I am going to add my green ink using a sponge dauber and ink from a Granny Apple Green ink pad. What this does is it gives a really nice texture, but also we're not using lots of coloured card just for this small piece. You can use your scraps box, that would be great, but this is a nice little technique when you just need a small piece of coloured card. Evening, Carol. Now, you'll notice that I haven't gone all the way to the end, and there is a reason for that. My piece of card that's been cut just about there, so I'm now going to just give that a nice little tear. And what's nice about using the white card is that when you tear it, you get a really nice contrasting piece of white showing your tear. Just a little tip. This is going to be added on to our card. I'm going to stick this down so that it's flat. Definitely need to start a new glue by the end of the day. Lovely, just like so. It's a nice little texture. Next, I'm going to bring in my trusty old circle punch. Gotta love a circle punch. They are available now. A couple of them are available in the online exclusives. If you love your circle punches, have a look at the online exclusives promotion. And punch out a lovely little 2-inch circle. Can't go wrong with a circle punch. And then I want my sentiment. This sentiment says, "Thanks a bunch." And I'm going to stamp in soft suede. So a nice brown. Now this sentiment, I'm going to put it to the right of my circle. Now what that will do is that will give me room to put in my lemon embellishment. Okay, be careful not to get yourself all inky. And this is going to get stuck on with a dimensional just to raise ever so slightly. There we go. Now for some decoration, I'm going to bring back in my scrap white, and we want to stamp ourselves a lovely set of lemons. Again, remembering to start with the outline. Followed by our infill image. There we go. What a lovely set of lemons. Now I'm going to take my die for this, and I'm just going to use the die to start us off. I'm not going to use the hybrid part. I'm going to do that on the second part. But basically, you're going to pop your die on so that it sits around your images, and you're just going to run that through your die machine, which I have just to the right of me. Lovely. And these pop out really, really nicely and easily. We can now layer those in around our sentiment. I'm going to first of all add on my sort of half a lemon. And then our whole lemon, I'm going to tuck in behind. Nice. Next we have some leaves to stamp. There's quite a bit of stamping going on in this project. Honestly, if you could see me, I spend most of my time just looking around what I've missed or what I've not got. Yeah, the leaves are here. I'm stamping in Granny Apple Green. I just need one leaf for this card. There is a die for this, so to save you fussy cutting. And there are 2 of the leaves and 2 of the flower dies, so you really do get quite a lot in your set. I'm also going to stamp while I'm here the little flowers, and the flowers are going to be stamped with what are the flowers going to be stamped with, Stacey? Sahara sand. Now with these flowers you have 3 little dots in your set. You have these 2 here that are joined, and you have this one that is on its own. And we're going to use these together. So this one here first. These are your 2 little dots, and they actually stamp in the centre of those small flowers. I'll just do that now. I'm stamping in Sahara sand. And then we want the bigger one also in Sahara sand. Okay. And we're going to use the dies to cut this out. You could, of course, fussy cut these if you wanted to. But I'm giving my scissors a rest this evening. There are our leaves. And here are our flowers. Now let's bring our card back in, and I'm going to layer these final pieces just in and around. So our leaf is going to tuck in just behind our lemon, and our flower, I'm going to start by just curving this ever so slightly. I'm just going to use the lid of my glue. I'm going to push it into the flower, and what that does is it just curves it and gives it a bit of definition. And I'm going to add that about there. Now there's one thing left to do on this card, and that is to add my twine. I'm just using linen thread. Linen thread is one of my most used trims. I'm just going to pull this out. I'm going to tie myself quite a big bow. Snip off the excess. And then a tip with if it's gone all curly, just run bit you want to straighten out between your index finger and your thumbnail, and it will just straighten out. Add a little glue dot to the back of this. My glue dots have now gone walkabouts. So I'm just going to pop my bow onto a glue dot. And lift it off. Okay. Then take this and slide it underneath your sentiment, and then just snip off the ends where you're happy with them. Okay, so that is our card front all done of the first one. Let me know what you think in the comments. The last thing we need to do is add the inside piece just to strengthen that back page, and that is also going in the centre. Now with this piece, I've just got to trim off a little bit that's overhanging. Lovely. And then we'll add in that little line to match the front. Now, I didn't do this on my original one, but I've got a lemon left over. I've got 2 lemons left over that I feel I need to do something with. So I'm going to stamp a couple of leaves on the inside. And then I can add my little lemons inside. I'm going to put these in flat because we don't want to have too much depth in the card. Lovely. So that is card number 1, all finished. Margaret's put, great card. It's a stamp set I've been thinking of getting. I've seen so many lovely projects. It's one of those stamp sets that when you first look at it, you think, I know I definitely did this. Why do I need lemons? How much put lemons on a card? But actually, it's really fun to play with. And there's quite a lot you can do with it. And there's quite a lot that I've seen done. So I would definitely recommend having a look at it if you like the look of it. So that is card number 1 from Coffee and Card, all finished. Pop that to one side and we will move on to card number 2. Now card number 2 is there's quite a lot going on card number 2, and I'm going to break it down for you all, and I hope you enjoy me making it. So we're going to go back to our first card, the second card base that we cut. This is just basic white card, and it measures 14.9 centimetres by 29.8, so it's half a A4 sheet of white card. I'm going to cut myself a panel for the front and a panel for the inside, and this panel measures 10 centimetres wide. And 14.4 is your next measurement. So 10 by 14.4. So I've got both of these cards, apart from my stamped images, out of 2 sheets of white. So you don't need a lot of materials really, which is always quite nice. So I'm going to start now with my sheet of white card. And what I'm going to do here is I'm going to create my ombre background. And the colours that I've used for this are Sweet Sorbet, Pumpkin Pie and Daffodil Delight. Now when you're doing ombre, it's up to you which way around you do it. I personally like to start with the darker colour and work my way up to the lighter colour. But this is personal preference and it is entirely your choice which one you do first. Now my blending brushes are over here. So I'm using my trusty blending brushes. These are quite well used after Coffee and Card today, so I need to give them a nice little clean. Be mindful of your fingers. So I'm just going to take myself a post-it note and I'm going to attach it to my hand to the sticky side. So what this now does, it allows me to hold my card in place without actually touching my fingers to the ink. So I like to blend in small circles. And then what you're going to do is just keep adding your ink until you get a really nice, solid look. You don't want to be too heavy with your ink. You want to add in layers of colour. Just remember, you can add ink, but you can't take it away. Dab off any excess onto your grid paper. And what I'm doing, I'm just building the colour upwards. So I'm quite happy with that. I'm going to go in with the next colour, which is Pumpkin Pie. It'll be really interesting to see which colours we are left with when we get our colour refresh. So I'm going to add in my orange now, get rid of my excess. And then my starting point on this one is this edge section here. So as the red ink blends into the white, that's where I'm going to go in with my orange. So it gives you, there's not clear definition between the two colours, but what you get is a really nice ombre look. You can go back in with the red afterwards if you want to add into that colour, but this is going quite nicely. And then the last colour I'm going to use is Daffodil Delight. Now we're just going to be mindful that this colour is very well used today. And then similar style, similar idea, I'm going to add my yellow colour into that middle section to blend it upwards. Now I'm saying upwards, but to you guys it looks like I'm going along, doesn't it? And the yellow just needs to be quite subtle actually. There we go. Okay, so that is my ombre background, and it makes a lovely pattern in a grid paper as well. So now I can attach that piece to my card front. Just be really careful that you're not going to get your ink onto the white area. Oops, it's moved. That's better. Okay, so there we have my lovely ink blended background. Let me know what you make of that. It looks like a nice sunset, doesn't it? Right, so the next thing we need to do is we need to stamp some lovely lemons. And I know I've cut this bit for my panel. I'm actually going, oh, I can do this for my lemons. Can't I? No, that's not quite right. So I've stamped this, I've cut this piece for my insert, but I am going to use this for my lemons as my bit of scrap, and I can cut another piece in a minute. So this time we're going to get our Daffodil Delight ink pad and our crushed curry ink pad, and I'm going to take my two stamps. So this time I'm going to take my outline image, add my Daffodil Delight ink to it, and then using a sponge dauber, whatever you say, I'm going to add a little bit of crushed curry ink to just darken and highlight some sections. Okay. Give that a nice stamp. Lovely. So that's given us some real texture or real depth of colour in our lemons. Now I'm going to do exactly the same with my inner piece, stamping, adding ink from the Daffodil Delight, and then I'm using my dauber to add in a bit of extra ink to my images. There we go. I really like that. It makes it look almost a little bit more natural because you get quite a lot of depth of colour in your ink fruits, don't you? Now I'm going to use the little centre of the flower with crushed curry just in the centre of my lemons. There we go. And now this is the fun part. We're going to use the embossing folder with the die. I'm just going to snip this down a little bit. And then I'm going to place my die into my embossing folder. And once you put it in, it kind of clicks into place. Turn it over so you can see it. And then line up your stamped images with your die. Lovely. Close it up. And we're going to run this through our die mixer. Evening, Joanna. I'm not sure if I've said evening to you, but I've just seen your comments, so I'll say hi again. Now take off our plates, and then when we take these out, they pop out beautifully. We've got this lovely little embossed piece, and then our lemons, and this is going to be really tricky to show you, I think. You will see that the lemons have got a sort of embossed look to them. They're just lovely, really, really nice images. Okay, so we have our lemons, and I'm going to pop these on with some foam pads. So I need 3. I'm going to need my large whole lemon. I'm going to need my large whole slice of lemon. And then I've got this one. I'm going to leave my half a slice sort of to one side. We're going to use that inside. Put these on. Oops. Like so. Lovely. Now we need to do some stamping for our leaves. Let's bring in my piece of white. And with these, I'm going to do something similar, but this time I'm going to use Parakeet Party and Granny Apple Green. Okay. So I'm going to stamp the leaves in. I'm going to add my Parakeet Party ink, and then using Granny Apple Green, I'm going to daub on. I need to be a little bit more. Much better, and it gives you sort of some texture in your stamped images. You probably get away with using a darker colour actually. Nice. And let's give those a little cut out. There's another die there for the leaves. How is everyone doing? Are we all still there? If you are watching back on the replay, if you wanted to be notified of any future demonstrations, all you have to do is hit subscribe, plus the little notification icon, and you will receive a little reminder when I'm next going live. Now, my plan going forward is to do a live at 8 o'clock on a Monday and 12 o'clock on a Thursday afternoon. Now the Thursday one won't actually start until after half term, so I think it's the 20th of April, but I will be live twice a week on here and on YouTube. So I've worked out this evening how to stream on both, which is really, really exciting because it saves me a lot of time afterwards, and it's nice to be able to reach out to you all. Die as moved. So we now have some leaves, and these are going to be placed just in and around. What I'm going to do is I'm going to use my bone folder to just curve them up a bit. And these are going to get stuck down. So the image is starting to come together. There's lots of layers. Have I any idea on little boxes for little mint chicks? Now, I don't really do many boxes. I'm not going to lie, I'm more of a card maker than a box maker, but I'm sure if you Googled it, or not Googled it, if you searched it in YouTube, you would find something. I would recommend using the envelope punch board, but we don't technically have that anymore. So now I need another bit of white for this. I'm stamping my little flowers now. Joanna, it's a stressful time at work at the moment, so it's nice to enjoy some crafting. Oh, bless you. I totally know what you're going through. I've had a really awful term at my current school, and I'm very, very glad that it's nearly half term. I hope it gets better for you. Let's add in our little dots. There's nothing worse than having a stressful time. Lovely. Let's just trim that down. We've got this little die here. There's two of these. I love that Stampin' Up have given us 2 dies in this set for each of the flowers and leaves. It makes life so much easier. You just have to make sure you don't stamp them too close together. You're working at NHS in a tough 12 months ahead. Oh my gosh, I can imagine. Well, sending you lots of hugs, Joanna. It will definitely be tough. You sadly don't hear many good stories at the moment, and I bet you're sick of hearing about that. Right, so now I'm going to add some texture to my leaves by curling, and my flowers by curling them slightly, and then these are getting stuck down to my card front. This one's definitely more orange. I think I've put my lemons higher up, haven't I? Or maybe it's because of that strip of white. We'll see how we go. Probably only needed to do one set because I've got some left over from the previous card. Thank you. I've really enjoyed making it, actually. like that. Now you'll notice on my card I've got these little extra white fronds, and that comes from the bow punch. Bow as in B-O-U-G-H. And it looks like this. I'm going to cut these out. I've got just a strip of white, so we're not going to get too much waste. How many do we need? 1, 2, 3. I do like to put things on my cards in 3s or 5s. Does anyone else do that? And then we'll slot this in. Got one up here. One there. And this last one down here. I love some ink blending too. I find it quite therapeutic. Like so. Actually, let's just set that bit off a bit so I can actually get it where I want it to go. Like so. Right, so we are nearly there with our card now. I just need a little strip of card. Actually, I need 2 of them. I need 1 and I need 2. I cut lots of these earlier, and these are for my Have a Zesty Birthday. Blocks are here, 1 and 2. And there goes that age-old question, what have I done with the stamp set? Here it is, it's just fallen behind my laptop. And 2, Have a Zesty Birthday. How cute is that? I'm going to stamp this in soft suede. So I'm keeping with all the same colours that I've used so far. Stamping it just a little way in, because what that allows me to do is to snip off the edges into a sort of angled banner, and that's going to go on our card front. But what I'm going to do first is I'm going to take my linen thread, tie another bow, but not so big this time. One of my ladies at Coffee and Card Day was really kind and did almost everyone's bows. My lovely Jane. Snip that off, and then I'm going to do the same as what I did before and add it to a glue dot. I didn't put them back in the box. If you were a glue dot, where would you be? Why do I do this? Why don't I put things back where they go, where they belong? There they are. They've also gone under my laptop. Let's add this to our little jet dot. Your dad made you a bow makeup. That's lovely. I've seen those. I've also seen people do it with forks. Right, so I'm going to add this to the back of my banner. Oh, I put it on upside down. Like that. That's good. Nice, nice. And then this can be added to a couple of dimensionals. A couple or 3. Just like that. Okay, then to finish, we've just got a few little gems to put on our card front. And these are going in my flowers. Now, usually I'd really not enjoy this big white space and I'd want to do something to it, but actually I'm going to leave it alone on this card. I'm going to leave it as it is. So there we go. That's our card front done. I love the little sparkles. It just finishes it off. And then inside, where I've got a little lemon left over, inside we're going to do this. So it's just finishing the card off, bringing it all together. And I want a piece of white that measures 10. This is the piece that I used as my scrap earlier, by 14.4. Now I should probably have enough ink left in my blending brush to do this without having to re-ink. Lovely jubbly. Having to push quite hard on the yellow, but you know what, it's okay. There you are, look at that. I'm going to stick this in before I get really inky. Okay, and what have I done inside it? Just to refresh my memory, I want a leaf, a little leaf. Do I have any scrap that I can get this leaf on? Yes, I have this piece. Nice. Let's die cut that out. There we go. And now we can put this together. So let's put on our lemon. This is all going to go in flat in here. Let's put our leaf in. Like that. And then we want enjoy the sweeter things in life, which is also another sentiment from this stamp set. Snip this off. And stick this in. And then to finish this one off, I've got a little flower. In there, and I'm going to add another little gem, because you can never have enough gems on your projects, can you? And there we go. So let's have a little recap. Our first card, or my first card that I made, is this lovely yellow and green card design. This is, the lemons in the background have been stamped flat, so there's no texture, no depth to that whatsoever. I've added in some extra detail here with some die cut lemons and a flower. I think that flower needs a little gem though, don't you? To just add a little sparkle. Much nicer. So that was card number 1. And then card number 2 was a lot more involved. We've created a really nice ombre background using Sweet Sorbet, Pumpkin Pie and Daffodil Delight, and my trusty blending brushes. The lemons have been stamped and die cut and embossed with a hybrid embossing folder, which die cuts and embosses all at the same time. It gives you a really nice texture in your images. It lines up beautifully as well. And then we finished off with some leaves, some fronds and some flowers, and of course a little bit of detail inside the card. That's the set that I've used this evening, is the Sweet Citrus stamp set, and this is the embossing folder, and this is the dies. You can search for this on the online store just by typing in Sweet Citrus and it will all come up for you. We will find out in the next few days what is going to be retiring, and this will be shared with you. If you're not on my newsletter already, do get yourself added. You can add yourself in to my newsletter, my mailing list, by going to staceymarsh.co.uk. We are in the process of moving from one catalogue to another, and it's a very exciting time. There's going to be lots that's going, lots that's staying, and lots of new things to get excited about. So that's my live this evening. Let me just swap back to my main camera. Oh, I'm loving this technology when it works. Lovely. Okay, so that's it from me tonight, guys. Thank you so much to everyone who has tuned in tonight. Yes, the new catalogue for demonstrators, we can see that on Wednesday evening. I sadly am in a governor's meeting, so I will be rushing home to check out all the new products and catch up after that. If anyone has any questions or anything I've used, please pop them in the comments or reach out to me directly. And as always, everything that I've used is available to purchase from my online store, and you can find that at staceymarsh.co.uk. Don't forget to use the host code when you're shopping, or the online shopping code, and you will get a free gift from me in the mail next month. Thanks so much, everyone. Look forward to seeing you all soon. I will be live on Monday evening at 8 o'clock, same time. Take care. Bye for now.